One sunny day, a beautiful woman in a white military uniform was happily walking down a cobblestone path in a forest filled with reindeer and dragonflies. Suddenly, the sky turned dark and fireflies lit up the forest. One of the reindeer walked up to her and stood in front of her, gesturing to get on its back. The woman got on the reindeer's back and held on to its huge antlers. It reared up on its hindquarters and took off at a gallop. As they were running, a pack of white wolves began to happily run with them. They all ran through the forest until they came to a bubbling blue stream. There they stopped to rest. The wolves and reindeer bent down and gulped up the cool water. The woman took off her military hat, her long hair flowing out, and sat down gracefully at the foot of a tall oak tree, watching the animals drink. A white owl swooped down from the tree and took her hat in its beak and flew back up into the old oak tree. Surprised, the woman jumped up and began climbing the tree. With each step she took, the tree trunk gave way to stairs. Soon she found herself walking up a wooden spiral staircase with oak leaves decorating the banister. She looked down and tried to spot the animals down below, but couldn't see them. She had climbed so high that all she could see was the tops of the trees in the forest. She turned away, determined to find the owl, who took her hat and climbed higher. It wasn't long before she noticed her skin started resembling the bark of the oak tree, and her military uniform had turned into an emerald green satin ball gown. She ran her fingers through her hair and found they had turned into the branches and leaves of an oak tree. Her feet grew heavy, and as she looked down, her legs split and turned into roots. Her beautiful gown gave way to a tall and sturdy tree trunk. Her roots went deep down into the soil and extended out towards the stream. Not being able to move anymore, there she remained, now the most magnificent oak tree in the forest. The owl, with the military hat still in its beak, turned it upside down and had its young owlets in it, and the wolves and reindeer slept under her shade. Fireflies danced around them, and all was as it should be for many years. One sunny day, a handsome man dressed in a military uniform passed through the forest. The sky turned dark and fireflies lit up the forest. An old gray reindeer slowly walked up to him, and he understood to get on its back. The reindeer was too old to rear up on its hindquarters or run, but it managed to keep up a consistent and very smooth trot. A pack of white wolves followed them, this time though with young pups. They trotted through the forest until they came to a blue, bubbly, beautiful stream. While the animals were busy drinking, he walked over to a beautiful oak tree. Looking up and admiring its grand green leaves, he saw a military hat resting upside down high in the branches. Surprised, he took an axe to the tree and began chopping at it, wielding steady, strong blows. He heard a little crack, then a louder one, and the old oak tree began to sway to one side. It then fell to the ground and the earth shook. The sun came out, and it was so bright it blinded his eyes and he couldn't see for a moment. And when he could, the oak tree was gone, and in its place lay a beautiful woman in an emerald green satin ball gown, sleeping contentedly. Amazed, he slowly walked up to her. As he did, a white owl swooped by and dropped that military hat he had seen high up in the tree and somehow managed to catch it. He took the hat over to the woman and placed it on her head. Her eyes slowly opened and her gown transformed into a white military uniform. She slowly got up and stood and smiled at the man shyly, then spoke, asking what day it was. He told her the date and she couldn't believe it. 40 years had gone by. She looked down at her hands and touched her face, and she realized she had never aged. He asked where she came from, and the only thing she could think to say was, she came from the oak tree, solid, sturdy, with roots buried deep into the ground, with beautiful leaves quivering in delight at being touched by the wind, breeze, and storm. Astonished, he extended his hand to shake hers, and she met his with a firm grip. There they gave a good, solid handshake. Then they both straightened their military hats, and looking at each other, they smiled. She inquired if it was time to go. He nodded and said the time machine would be up and running for more hours, so they should leave now. And together they began to walk. The reindeer, wolves, and pups long gone back to the time machine. The sun shone down on them. It was a beautiful day, and all was well in the forest, host of the magical oak tree.